So I'll introduce myself. My name is Leslie Suarez. I've been with EXP since 2015. So I was one of the first agents with EXP. I've been with them for a long time. I absolutely love the way that I've been able to grow my business. I've been using KVCore since back when it was called Conversion. So a very long time. And then it got hip and cool, kind of like JLo, and it has the shorter name of KVCore. One of the reasons why Gina has asked me to teach these classes is because I do utilize KVCore on a regular basis. I came into real estate with a lead generation background and a corporate sales trainer background prior to. I've been in real estate now. I was in real estate for a year and a half before I came to EXP, so just about 9 years. I do also sit as a Florida Realtors Director, a National Association of Realtors Director, and I am the Regional Vice President for Palm Beach County, which is the third largest association in the country. So I'm very, very involved in the politics behind real estate and fighting for home ownership. So that's kind of where my real estate career has taken me, but I really do love to teach. And so being able to do these classes a couple days a week is fun for me and I enjoy it. I'm also a single mom. I've got 2 little boys. I work hard. I live in Boca Raton, Florida. And so today's class is more so setting up your KVCore, making sure that you understand the basics of it. And then I also do teach an advanced class. I do have one recorded on my YouTube channel, so you can watch that as well, or you can sign up. The advanced classes are every Tuesday. So you can always sign up for that. I do recommend that you give yourself a couple days between the classes. So if you signed up for this one today, it would be a good idea to take the advanced class next week, so that way you have a little bit of time to practice today's stuff. And it is a lot of information for you to absorb. So that's the other reason why we record it, so that you can watch it back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I will tell you guys, it's a small class. There are 4 of you in this class. So if you have questions, you are welcome to unmute yourself and ask questions as much as you need to. If you want me to repeat something, show you something again, definitely feel free to ask those questions. It's a small, comfortable environment. On top of that, I forgot the other part that I was going to say, and you guys already know that you can watch it back. So let me just adjust my screen just a tiny bit, and that way I can see everything. So you have a KVCore website that you can go to. So your KVCore website, for you to log into the back end of it, is going to be kvcore.com. So you can log in. It's going to look like this on the back end. It might be slightly different depending on what your preferences are over time. But you do have a front end website that your clients can go to. What I like the most about KVCore is that it does work as your website. It's your IDX, so it's a place for your clients to search for properties. But on top of that, it's also your CRM, and it's all integrated together to give you the easiest, most streamlined experience. For me as a realtor, one of my downfalls is calling people back. So KVCore is what keeps me accountable. And I kind of think of KVCore as my virtual assistant. So your website, you can customize it, and I'll show you some customizations today. And we do some customizations in the advanced class. Sorry, my phone was ringing. I forgot to silence it. So this is the front of your website. And of course, there are different templates and different themes that you can apply to this. And I'll explain all of that as we go along. The front end of your website, typically you'll have an image here, and you can choose that image in KVCore, which I'll show you today. You'll notice that I do have a video that plays. This is a YouTube video that shows where I live. It's of my local area of Boca Raton. At the front of the website, people can search for homes. They can get a home valuation. Also, for you guys, I will tell you that my website also has my YouTube login, so people can definitely log in and go to my YouTube channel from my website, as well as you can from jeanfrederick.com, or just going to YouTube and searching for Leslie Suarez, but I will put the link in the chat throughout this as well. So people can search for properties here. Underneath that, if you scroll down, there are different options. So yours might look different, and that's okay. But there's lots of different things that you can implement into this. Number one is you do have testimonials. So I'll show you today as to how to upload your testimonials and make sure that they're visible on your website. Then on top of that, there are 3 carousels. We call it a carousel because you can click through the photos and they kind of go as if they were on a real carousel around in a circle until you get back to the ones that you started with. So you have 3 of these that you can have. You can always make it just 1. So there's a lot of customizations that you can do. But again, even if you don't do any customizations, your KVCore website is going to work. And it's just a matter of getting more and more comfortable with it through these classes. So my 3 carousels would be listings in Boca Raton. I also always keep open houses on my website, as well as the newly listed properties throughout my MLS. Underneath that, there's an about me section. So I'm going to show you guys today how you can update that. It is really important. Not only is it on the front page of your website, but it also is something that's emailed to clients that get that free home valuation on your website. So I do recommend that you have a thorough about me section with different accolades or awards that you've won through real estate. And if you're new to real estate and you don't have accolades through real estate, talk about some of the things that you've accomplished in the past. Even if it's just being an amazing athlete from younger in your life, whatever it is, throw some things on there that show that when you put your mind to something, you're committed and you follow through. So whether it's in real estate or something else, I just strongly suggest that you do build in a good about me section. Underneath that is blog posts. So we'll talk today about how you can do some blog posts and why they're important. And then for me, one of the most important parts on the website is the areas that we cover. So I will show you guys that as well on how to add those to your website. And underneath that is all of the compliance things that are on your website. So that is what your clients will see from the outside. But now it's a matter of making sure that you have things correctly on there. So when you log into kvcore.com, on the top right-hand side, you'll see your name. If you click on your name, you're able to go down to my profile. So we're going to go into my profile in just 1 second. Above my profile, you'll see that you have a phone number, and that's not going to be your cell phone number. So that's not my actual cell phone number. However, that is a smart number that's connected to me and to EXP. So if people are calling this smart number, they'll be connected directly to my cell phone. Like if I were to call this number, my cell phone will ring. So the way that I talk to my clients about it is my cell phone number is my cell phone number, but I do put my smart number on my business cards and more so call it my office number. But it's nice because people can call it, text it. Either way, you're going to get the information. Underneath that is your EXP email address. Underneath that is your EXP website address. And something else that we go over in the advanced class is vanity domain. So if you want to learn more about that, we do talk about it in the advanced class if you want to sign up. And make it easier for people to go to your website. Underneath that, so the 4th thing down is where it says your app. Now, there are a few different apps that you can have. This app is the only one that goes out to your clients. So if you were to click on this, it does give you a QR code or a place for you to actually put in people's phone numbers and email addresses and sign them up to receive your app. The app is a place for people to search for properties. So before they had to go to your website, type in your website address and start searching for properties. Now it's going to actually be like a tile on their phone, and it will be an app that they can go into just like they would with Zillow or Realtor.com, any of those, except for the benefit of them using your app is the only agent that they can call to set up showings is going to be you, as well as you're able to see what they're doing in the background. So I really do encourage you, if you have buyers, especially, that you're pushing this app to them. Also, if somebody sends you like a property from Zillow, it's great. They're doing their research. They're a committed client. Like that's a strong lead if they're looking for properties too. But if somebody ever sends me a property from Zillow, I actually send them a link to my app back and I let them know I'm going to get all the information for the property you've already sent me. But from now on, I'd recommend that you use my app so that way I already know what you're looking at. And Hernan, you have a question?
Yes, Leslie, thank you so much. So this app is already included with the KVCore or is an add-on?
No, this doesn't cost you anything extra.
Okay.
So I have downloaded the app and I made myself like a fake account just so that I can see what my clients are seeing. And this is something that's included in KVCore.
Thank you. So all you have to do is to send them that URL on the top or the QR code, right? That's it.
Absolutely. And I'll even show you another way to invite people when we get in the CRM, because as you're on each person individually, you can send them the link directly that way too. So there's a lot of ways for you to get this app out there. But I do have the link saved in the notes of my phone and I send that to clients right away if they send me stuff from Zillow. And of course, like I don't shame them for using Zillow. Lots of people are using Zillow, but I kindly encourage them to use my app versus an outside app so that we're always on the same page and we're a cohesive team is kind of the way that I word it with them.
Thank you. And I don't want to change the structure of your class, but I just want to ask you a quick question. Does it ask a lot of information to get it, or is only the email address and that's it?
I believe it's just the email address. It does prompt them for their phone as well, but I don't think you have to put in your phone number to download but it gives you the option to sign in with Apple, sign in with Google, sign in with Facebook, or enter your information. And I think the only thing that's required is the email address.
Thank you. So the conversion is quite good on this. If you send it to 10 people, how many are they getting it on your own experience?
So for me, if I ever have a client, like, so when I have a new buyer's client, I do send them the link to my app as just part of my like steps that I take, and I encourage them. If somebody ever sends me a property on Zillow, I send them my app again to encourage them. But the app is somewhat new to KVCore. KVCore hasn't offered this for even a year yet. So I haven't had as many of my clients using the app as my clients that are using my website still. I will say that, but it's also, I have a long list of clients that like right now, all of my sales that I'm doing are past clients that I've had for 5 years. Because, and I will contribute KVCore to that. Number one, I got the leads from KVCore to begin with, but also number two is KVCore's kept up with them over the past 5 years or however long since we've done a sale together. So they're still calling me for all of their real estate needs. Like I'm top of mind. So I give KVCore a lot of credit in that way, but I will say I haven't had as many of my clients using the app. I think right now I have 3 buyers that are using the app. They like it. I've never had somebody go back to Zillow once they start using it. It's simple for them.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Where do we find that on our website, on our KVCore website?
So on KVCore, when you're on the back end, if you click on your name on the top right corner, and you click on the 4th item down, that is your app link.
Oh, okay.
And that will take you to the page that has your QR code, which you could put this on your business cards. Like this is a QR code that is for your like for your app forever. But I will say that when I go to listing appointments or I'm talking to clients, they're always amazed at the list of technology that I have. And it's all from KVCore, you know, like it's between the fact that I have an app, I can build individualized websites for any listings that I get, you know, there's a lot that shows people that I'm committed in this.
Great. And so I just basically copy this URL on the top and send it to them.
You could do that, or if you have their cell phone number and email address, you can put it here. Or again, when we get to like contact management, about halfway through this class, I'll show you how you can actually like just prompt KVCore to be sending the app to people.
Okay, because when I go to that screen where you just told me to go, I don't see all of this mine looks different.
Okay, what does yours look like?
It just says download your homeownership app, but it doesn't give me for filling in their email address.
Does it have the QR code on it?
No, mine does not.
Even if you scroll down, because everybody that I've ever gone to on their website, it looks like this. So I'm just curious.
Well, I'm on my back end, so I don't know if that's, I'm on my back end. I'm in my KVCore.
And remind me again, were you from Canada?
Nope.
No, okay. The reason why I ask is because I will say that Canada has a few different things than US, and that's one of the reasons why I ask at the beginning of the class. It's not as much of a difference in the beginner's class, but in the advanced class, as far as how to build squeeze pages and some other things. I do know that Canada has some issues, and I just checked the chat and I saw that somebody else was saying that they don't have that option. So
yeah, I don't have it either on Canada. Yeah.
I will tell you, it's really new to the US, so be hopeful that it's something that Canada will start to offer soon, but Canada does have more strict laws in real estate than the US has, for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is my profile. When you click on my profile, is right underneath where I was just showing you on the app. When you're in my profile, there are a lot of things that you can do on here to make your life a lot easier. So number one, click edit profile, which is the blue button. Up here at the top, you can put in an image of yourself. This image is on the very front of your website. It's going to be this image right here. So it could be a headshot of yourself. It could be a picture of you doing something in real estate. It could be your logo, whatever you'd like. There's no like specific rule as to what you have to put there, but most people will put a headshot there. I will tell you that looking back at the website, you can put a team logo here, and we go over how to do that in the advanced class. So if you are on a team and you want to put your team logo here, know that there is an option for you to put it in a different spot as well. But I see either logos or headshots there the most. Also, you can update your first and last name. You should make sure that it's compliant to what's on your real estate license. And then underneath that, you can also do a tagline. That tagline is going to show up right underneath your name. So for me, I put making real estate dreams come true. I see some people that put just the word realtor there. Chances are people will know that you're a realtor by the time that you're on your website. So maybe add a little bit of your own character in that spot. As you go down, you'll see that you can choose to either put your smart number on your website or not. I do rely heavily on my cell phone, so that's what's on my website, but that's my personal choice, but you can always choose what works best for you. Now, one of the most important tips that I'm probably going to give you today is going to be about how your email addresses are hooked up to KVCore. So you have the EXP email address that's going to be in this first email spot. This email address in your cell phone should be connected and synced with your contacts. So when you're in your smartphone and you go to your settings, it is really important that you click on the email address that's connected to KVCore. And when you click on it, it will give you the option to sync your contacts, your calendar, your notes, and one other thing I forget, maybe reminders or tasks. But it's very, very important that you sync your contacts. The reason why is that if I add somebody to my phone and I have my contacts synced, now if I add somebody to my phone, they are automatically showing up in my CRM. I don't have to come home and duplicate the work that I've already done once I've added them to my phone. So again, one of the easiest things to make your life in KVCore just that much more streamlined is to make sure that your contacts are synced in your phone. Any questions about that?
Oh, I do have a question. So regardless of us having any iPhone or Android, like in my case, so you're saying that the settings on my telephone will sync with the settings on KVCore, or do I need to have a KVCore app in my telephone for them to?
It's not a separate app. So whether you have an iPhone or an Android, when you go to the settings and you go to email, it's really important that you make sure that your contacts are synced, because that way in your phone, every time you add somebody, it's also going to add to KVCore.
Really? It will add automatically?
Yep.
So is that only through the exp.com, or if we are using another one? Let me see what I have here. Yeah, that's what I'm using, exprealty.com. So as long as it's on my telephone and it says sync, it will upload into KVCore automatically?
Yep. Test me on it. You know, sync your contacts, add somebody new to your phone, because it's not going to add in all of your past contacts. It's going to add in your new contacts. So if you're at the nail salon and you meet somebody and you add their phone number to your phone, all of a sudden you're going to come back to KVCore and you'll see that there's somebody new on the list that you didn't add to KVCore, but it did it for you.
As long as I add them into that domain.
Right. And so I will tell you, there's two places for you to have email addresses with KVCore. So I have my initial email address, which is what EXP used to set up my KVCore account. So that's my EXP Realty email address. But for business, I actually use a very short email address because it's a lot easier for my clients to remember. And so I use 561leslie@gmail.com. When KVCore sends an email on my behalf, which it's going to do on a regular basis for you, you want to make sure that it's coming from whatever email you want your clients to be using for you. So I don't put the leslie.suarez@exprealty.com on my business cards or any of my signs. I don't. I use as short of names on everything as possible because I want it to be easy for people to remember. And that's my like network marketing and lead generation mindset that I had even prior to coming into real estate. So I use this email address. So every email that my clients are getting is coming from 561leslie@gmail.com. I do that because I also have a vanity domain on my website. So even though the full domain is lesliesuarez.exprealty.com, if you were to type in 561leslie.com into your browser, it's going to take you to my EXP website. So that's what a vanity domain is. And we'll talk more about it in an advanced class as to how to choose a vanity domain, how you actually do it, and how you forward your website to it. But all of my emails come from this. And I have both of these email addresses synced with contacts and with my calendar in KVCore, because KVCore takes it one step further. Not only is it going to sync your contacts that you're adding into your phone, but if KVCore says, hey, Leslie, today you should be reaching out to these 10 people, those will actually be in my calendar. So I don't even have to open up KVCore to keep up with what KVCore is telling me to do. They're in my calendar, and it's great because it actually puts their phone number right there. So from my cell phone, I can just click on that event for the day. It'll call that person. I can have that quick phone conversation and keep going. So I do recommend, like, obviously I think contacts is the most important thing, but syncing your calendar will also be beneficial for you because it'll encourage you to keep up with the contacts that haven't been communicated with in the longest.
Thank you, Leslie. So I know that I'm asking a lot of questions, hopefully
It's okay.
helping the rest of the class. But so I am in my cell phone. I am very familiar with my Android, but so I know how to sync contacts with my Google because I'm using G Suite private emails, like a vanity type of domain and email. So is that what you're saying, that I should sync them, or is that is another specific area inside the Samsung telephone that I should do?
I will tell you,
my
I'm an
contacts.
iPhone user. I've never used an Android, so I don't know how to connect contacts the same way. In the
Okay. I see.
iPhone, you would go to settings, you go to mail, then you click on whichever account it is. And when you see that account, it'll show you like what's synced, and you can just toggle switch one of them over.
Okay, thank you. I know how to do it, and I know that they are adding into my Gmail contacts, but I don't know if they are also uploading to KVCore. So I guess you're gonna get in a moment to see who our contacts are, because if that's the case, I should have like 500 contacts into KVCore. But I don't know where to find those, but I'll wait for you to go there. Otherwise, maybe it's a function that only works in iPhone and maybe not in Android.
No, I have tons of people on my team that have Androids and they have theirs synced as well. It's just because I don't do it on a regular basis, I don't know the steps of it per se.
Okay.
But I do know that whether it's an Android or an iPhone, if you sync them in your settings, that you will have that. I do
Thank
have
you.
to keep moving, otherwise we won't get done.
Thank you.
But we'll get to the contacts in just a little while. But there's a couple things that I really want you guys to set up on your website. The most important thing that I want you to take away is that no matter what you do to your KVCore site, it's going to work. But I'm trying to show you guys how to make it work that much better and make sure that you're not missing little things. So you're not missing out on leads and things aren't disappearing. As you scroll down through here, just a side tip, you can connect in your social media. However, one of the big questions that I get is, if I haven't used my Facebook account in months, should I still be connecting it? And my answer is no. You only want to connect social media to your KVCore website that you're actually using on a regular basis. So what's a regular basis? That you're posting at least once a month. I'm not asking for you guys to be like huge social media superstars, but if you want people to know that you're still in business, you still have to keep posting. Think of it as like your digital open sign. So when you drive up to a business and you see that open sign, you know that you can go inside. Nowadays, people take an open sign as, well, let me check their social media. And if I see an ice cream shop hasn't posted to social media in 4 or 5 months, I assume they've closed down and they're no longer in business. So take that same concept to yourself and make sure that whatever you're connecting in, that it's stuff that you're posting to regularly. So I do have a Twitter account. I don't even know how to tweet, to be honest. So I don't have that connected because I haven't ever tweeted. I'm sure I have one, but I don't know anything else about it. Same thing with Pinterest. I don't post to Pinterest, so I don't have it added. I'm actually a very heavy Facebook user, but I have my Facebook and my Instagram synced. So I could add my Instagram too, because my Instagram has just as much content as my Facebook does, because they work together. That's just a little insider tip. Also, your About Me section is right underneath that. Keep in mind, you might not update your About Me section for many, many years. So it's a good idea to put the year that you've been licensed since, rather than saying you've been licensed for 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. Because if you don't update your profile in a couple years, you won't like miss out on giving yourself credit on how long you've been working hard in real estate. So you can put in information into your About Me section. And the last thing that you need to do in your profile is to update your signature. I highly recommend that you put your website domain, whether you have a vanity domain or it's the long domain, but always keep that in your signature. I also put my email, I put call or text with my cell phone number and some of my titles in real estate. And that you do want to make sure that it is included on all outgoing mail. So these toggle switches, when you see that it's gray, it means that it's off. When it's blue, it means that it's on. So now this signature is in all of the emails that KVCore sends out. And that's it. Everything else underneath here is just for informational purposes only. It's not displayed on your website. So if you guys can go into your profile and update as much as you can until you get to the signature section, you'll be in a better spot. Make sure that you do come up to the top and hit save. I'm going to hit cancel because I didn't change anything that I actually want on my website. Up next, I know you guys are more curious about the CRM, but there are 2 other things that I really need you to do on your website for it to function at its highest capacity. And to do those, you would go to Web and IDX. When you click on Web and IDX, you can go to Site Content. And under Site Content, you're going to see 3 things. You're going to see testimonials, service areas and SEO, and then custom pages. The most important thing is actually the service areas and SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization. So what that means is a search engine is Google. Google is a good example and probably the most popular search engine worldwide. So when somebody goes to Google, how likely are you to show up in their search? So it's really important that you put all of the different service areas that you work in, because people are going to Google on a daily basis and saying, realtor in Boca Raton, realtor in such and such zip code. And I'll say that I found out that my clients actually search for things in Google very differently. Like not everybody searches the same way. I would never think to search for a home for sale by zip code. However, pretty much everybody in New York, that's the way that they do it. So you want to come in here and add anywhere that you are happy to be selling real estate. And you could even add in some outside areas and use those as referrals to agents in those areas. But in KVCore, you can add in zip codes. You can actually add in neighborhood names, like all of the different communities within your town or your city. And then you can also add in all of the city names as well. So to do that, at the top of the page, you would just start typing in whatever city you want to include. So if I were to type in Lake Worth, like that's another area. Oh, I actually already have it added to my list, because if I were to type it in and it's down here, it means that I haven't added it yet. So if Lake Worth isn't showing up, oh, it's also because I put an A in there. But Lake Worth, there we go. Now it's starting to populate. But I can put like Lake Worth Hills as a neighborhood that I'm willing to sell in. And you can just keep adding more and more to this list. The bigger this list is and the more thorough this list is, the more likely somebody that's going to Google to look at homes or to search for a qualified realtor is going to land on your website. And your goal is to get as many people on your website as possible. If you get 1,000 people to your website, you're going to have a very busy pipeline versus if you get 10 people to your website. So naturally, this is your way of getting people that are not in your sphere, not in your circle, might not even live in the same area that you do. They could live across the country, but if they're searching for a home in any of these areas, I'm going to populate very high in their search criteria so that chances are they're going to end up on my website. Once somebody ends up on your KVCore site, it's fantastic because then they're added in as a lead. They can start searching for properties. It'll ask them to register over time. It'll ask for little pieces of information so that they can keep searching for homes. And once somebody creates an account in KVCore and is searching for homes on your website, you know you have a strong lead that you really should pick up the phone and call immediately. They've already seen your face, they've seen your picture. You can call them up and say, hey, I just saw that you were on my website searching for properties in such and such area. How can I help you? And those are the deals that you're going to be closing. So highly encourage you guys to come in here and just add and add and add to your service areas in SEO. Any questions about how to add in service areas? Cool. The other thing that you can do to optimize your blog or to optimize your website is to start a blog. I will tell you guys, I am not a blogger. I don't really like to blog. I'm a big time talker, but I'm not a great writer. So I don't blog as much as I should. However, I do want to show you guys how some of these blog posts have worked. So over the years, I try to do a blog post once every couple months because again, it's not something that I like to do, but it is something I force myself to do. And when I put these blog posts on my website, for example, this one blog post brought in 975 people that landed on my website to read that blog post that would have never gotten on my website. So again, these are leads and ways to drive traffic to your website. The reason why a blog is beneficial is that when you go to add the post, every single word that you type into the content is going to be search engine optimized, and they're going to be put in as a keyword on the back of your system. Meaning if somebody types in anything to Google about what your blog post just was, they're going to end up on your website rather than somebody else's. So blog posts are pretty easy. You can just type in a title, type out a couple words. They don't have to be long. It's not like, hey, you have to write a book. It could literally be 5 sentences. But the more that you write, the more back-end content that's on your website, and the more likely when somebody goes to Google to search for something, they're going to end up on your website rather than another realtor's website. You can add links in if you wanted to put a link into something else. And you also can add images, and your images will be meta encrypted, meaning like when you put this description here, if somebody's looking for something, even your photo that you add to your blog is keyworded. Any other questions about a blog?
Yes. Is the SEO only recognize English, or Spanish is also SEO friendly there?
That's a very good question. My assumption that it would actually be both, like people that are typing in Spanish any blog posts that were in Spanish will populate, but I actually would like to get some clarification because nobody's ever asked me that before.
No problem. Thank you.
With my understanding of how KVCore works, anything that's written in Spanish will be keyworded for people that are searching in Spanish. Anything that's written in English will be keyworded for people searching in English. So I would say it definitely wouldn't hurt, but I'll try to find out a more specific answer for you because
Thank you.
First time. You're welcome. So again, some of the big things to come in here and do is to add your service areas in SEO and to create some blogs. That will increase the traffic that's landing on your website. The other thing that you can do is you can add testimonials to your website. This won't increase traffic per se, but it'll allow the people that have landed on your website to say, wow, people really like her. She's nice. She cares. And so you can add in testimonials. There's 2 different ways to add them in. Is you can connect your Zillow reviews, which is easy. You would just do connect Zillow reviews. You would put in your information and hit save, and it will automatically add all of your Zillow reviews to your website. You can choose to turn off reviews. So if you didn't like that review, you can turn it off. And then you can also add testimonials automatically or like manually. So if you want to add a testimonial, say you got a testimonial on Facebook, like your Facebook page, or on Google, like there's so many different places that you can be collecting reviews. And that's great. Like you want all of those reviews on all the different sources, but you also want to keep them all on your website too. So with those, I just copy and paste them from their original source. I put the name, the testimonial, and I hit add. So testimonials are easy to add. I'd recommend that you at least have a couple of them on your website. You don't need 1,000. Nobody's going to flip through and read 1,000 reviews. Maybe somebody might, but you at least need a couple to give people that confidence. You can change what the stars are. So make sure you click on that 5th star. You can come in and edit them, but it's pretty simple to add in the testimonials. So those would be the things that I'd recommend that you change on KVCore before you really get started. Up next, we are going to talk about the CRM. So we'll go to the CRM first, and then I do need to talk to you guys about smart campaigns, and that's the majority of this class. But your CRM is where it's going to keep all of your clients and leads that are coming in. You can put them in here. So for example, I actually had a party a couple weeks ago, and I hired a company called Paella Uno. The guy's name was Manny. So I saved him in my phone as Manny Paella Uno. Now, when I come into KVCore, he is a lead in my system. That's okay. I want every single person that I meet to be a lead in my system. I really, really do. And so with those people, I leave them as a sphere. If I have somebody that I think might be buying or selling, I do change them into where they should be. So if somebody is a prospect, you think they might buy or sell, but you're not sure when. If somebody's a new lead, KVCore is going to be a little bit more aggressive with them. And that means that you think that they're going to buy or sell in the next couple months. An active lead means that they're actively searching. You're probably going to be closing something with them over the next 90 days. And then it kind of progresses from there. Like they've become your client, you actually have them under contract, and you've closed with them. So KVCore does send more emails to people that are prospects, new leads, and active leads, because it wants to make sure that if they're on that market, that they're not forgetting that you are a realtor. You can come in and change their contact information. So you can click here and you could add their email address. You can add their home address. You can change them from a buyer to a seller, or for example, this one would be a vendor, and I could take it off of buyer. And now it's just listed as a vendor in here. I can also add hashtags. I add a lot of hashtags to everything in KVCore. So anything that I know about a client, I actually put it into hashtag form. So say I knew that this person, say it wasn't the paella place, but say it was a new lead that I just met. I typically will put in hashtag form, like where I met them, where they're from, where they currently live, if they have kids, and any of their special interests. You know, so if they have kids, I'll put in the word like mom of 2 or girl mom, you know, like something that says mom, so that when I see it, I know that this person's a mom. This may sound silly to you guys, like these are all examples of hashtags that I have. I also put sometimes if they're a buyer or seller, but any notes that I have about them, I put it in hashtag form. The reason being is that hashtags are searchable. So say I wanted to send an email, like a mass email, to anybody in my database that's a parent. What I can do is I can click on filters, and I can come down here to contact details, and I can actually change and put in hashtag of mom or dad, and then apply the filter. And you guys are probably thinking like, why do you care if somebody's a mom or dad if you're trying to sell them a house? However, it is really important that when you send out your mass emails, you're not just sending out mass emails saying, hey, look at me, look at what I've sold, look at what the market is, look at this, look at that, because people will get bored of you very quickly. And it is important to have content that people care about if you don't want them to unsubscribe from your emails. So every Friday, I work hard to make sure that I send out a mass email about things that are going on in the community. So anybody that's hashtagged that they're a mom or a dad, I typically will send out emails of fun, free things to do with your kids this weekend. Also, I will hashtag a lot of people with the word beer on it, and people think that's funny. But if I know that somebody is like really into beer and like going to events, I will send them emails if I see that a new brewery is opening up, or that they're having some sort of like dog adoption event at this brewery this weekend. I'll search for everybody that's hashtagged beer, and I'll send them the information about like what they could go do. And I've gotten more feedback, like more people respond to when I send out emails like, hey, this is what you could be doing for free this weekend, check it out. I get so many thank yous, and Leslie, I look forward to your emails and that kind of stuff. It is crickets when I send out, hey, check out my new listing. The people that respond to that sometimes are just other realtors being like, oh, when did you list it? I'm going to pull it up on the MLS. Like, there's not that many clients that respond back to it. So it's really important that you're putting out content that they care about. So there are a lot of things that you can do to filter through people. I would recommend that you're cautious of when you send mass emails, and that it's like pertinent information to them, not just like a blanket email. Also, you can do mass texts, and mass texts I'd say to send a little bit less often than mass emails, because people do get like, it's funny, people are so used to being spammed in their email that they're okay with it, but people, when they start getting all these mass texts, they kind of will be very quick to unsubscribe or to end them. So you just don't want to lose your ability to keep up with people, so you've got to keep relevant information. When you're ready to send in a mass email, you would click at the top of the list, and it's going to highlight everybody. If I can get there we go. And then you would click mass email. I will tell you, there are tons of templates in the mass email, so lots and lots of things for you to use. If you were to type in the word holiday, there are a million different holiday emails. So like with Easter that just passed, I could send out a mass email to everybody with Easter information. There's Passover stuff. There's all sorts of things. But when you click on these emails, they're already put together for you. You don't have to do anything. So it's always nice when you find these emails that are already pre-done, but you can also start from scratch and create emails as you'd like to as well. You can edit the email. So I could come in here and type in Happy New Year from Leslie. You can put in all of these different things. Alex, I see you have your hand raised. Or Nancy, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Is there a way that I can extract all of my contacts from my MLS? Because I have a lot of emails and, past clients from my MLS.
So there is a way, but you would have to have them in like an Excel spreadsheet, so to speak. So let me go to, it's not going to be lead engine. Let me just double check. Oh, yep. So under lead engine, there's a bulk lead import button. So you can click on that and it will actually show you what you need to do to upload like mass amounts of contacts. So I actually just brought an agent over to EXP. He's a brand new agent, never done real estate, but he's been in sales for a million years. And so he brought over 4,000 contacts from his last industry into real estate. So what he did is he came in here, he let KVCore do it. He read what it needed to be. It's a CSV file that it needs to be. It'll actually tell you. So CSV format. But if you have one of those, you can upload it into here and KVCore will add them all in for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. You can also add them all in by yourself, but pretty much anybody that I've brought to EXP, they let KVCore handle it, and they say that it's done in a day or two. It tells you about 3 days, but it's pretty quick. And so I'm all about letting other people do what they're best at and me doing what I'm best at. I'm great at networking. I'm not great at a lot of other stuff. So KVCore kind of fills in those blanks for me.
So I could just like send them my login information, they can do it, or I have to actually download it to the CVS myself and send it to them?
No, it has to be a CSV file.
Okay. And then I just forward it to KVCore.
Mm-hmm. And there is a lot of information here about how to gather your contacts, how to organize them, and then also how to format your list to what KVCore needs to be able to do it.
Okay.
So I do recommend that if you have contacts from a past industry, that you find a way to save them in a CSV file and you upload it to KVCore, because again, every person that you've met is somebody that could potentially be buying or selling. Like I'm classroom mom for my son's 2nd grade class. Not that I need any other volunteer roles in my life, but I came home and as classroom mom, I'm responsible to send out an email every 2 weeks to all the parents. So I came home and I added them into my KVCore, like all of this classmates' parents' information. I don't have them on any drip campaigns. I'm not sending them emails about real estate. However, they're all hashtagged Corbin's classmate. So whenever I get an email from the teacher saying, hey, Leslie, can you forward this out to all the parents? All I have to do is come in here and do a mass email, filter through my people saying, I just want people with the hashtag of Corbin's classmates. It gives me my 30 parents. I select them all and I write out the email. So I use my KVCore for everything. Now at the end of this year, when I'm not classroom mom anymore, I'm going to go ahead and start marketing real estate stuff to those parents. But in the meantime, I kind of keep my 2 lives separate. Any questions about that? Okay, so now the next thing that we do need to talk about is going to set up your smart campaigns. Smart campaigns are emails, texts, phone calls, or just tasks that KVCore will set up for you to make sure that you're keeping up with your clients or your leads and anybody that's in your sphere. So if you go to smart campaigns, you will see that chances are in your campaigns, when it's on my campaigns, you probably have nothing on your list. I have a very long list. I'll show you guys why. But you need to add campaigns to your list in order for like KVCore to start working for you. So you're going to go to the KVCore library, and I recommend that you guys get a couple different smart campaigns added to your library. I recommend that you have a couple for buyers, a couple for sellers, and even one for renters. But this is a list of like all of the different campaigns, and you can definitely search through all of them, or you can put in the word buyer up here and search for just the ones for buyers. So now I'm looking at just the campaigns for buyers, and it's like, okay, how do I choose which campaign I like the most and which one's going to work? What I like to look at is the channels. Channels means what ways is it going to communicate to your client for you? And touches means how many times is it going to communicate to that client for you? So I like to look at the ones with a lot of touches and lots of different forms of trying to make a connection. So with this one where it says task, it's actually not going to reach out to the client at all on my behalf, but it's going to remind me. It's going to create tasks in my calendar for me to be reaching out to my clients. So if you're somebody that you don't want KVCore doing the work for you, you just need the prompting from KVCore, you might want to look at the campaigns that are tasks. For me, I don't like making the phone calls. I don't like sending out the emails. I like negotiating. I like writing up contracts. I like showing property, but I don't like having to keep up. So KVCore, I like the campaigns that are going to do phone calls, where it's going to email them, where it's going to text them, where it's going to create tasks for me. So this campaign seems the most appealing to me. If I click on it, I can see what it's going to be doing. It's going to say right away, it's going to prompt me to call the client and leave a voicemail if they don't answer. Then it's going to send them a text right afterwards saying, hey, I just left you a message, blah, blah, blah. And I can click view and it will show me what it is. But then the campaign starts to spread out because this campaign actually goes for 2 whole years. So at some point throughout this time period, chances are they're going to be responding and saying, okay, I'm ready, or I'm not ready yet. And they'll be giving you more information. But it's nice because now KVCore on a consistent basis is reaching out to this person or encouraging you to reach out to this person. So here for a couple months, it's just encouraging you to call them once a month. And those things will be put in your calendar for you. So you want to find a campaign that works for you. And then you want to add that campaign to your library. So I would hit add to library if I wanted this campaign. You're going to do that with a buyer. You're going to do the same thing with seller, where you look at the seller campaigns and you say, okay, well, this one it's going to email, text, do all of this stuff. And it's 18 times. You can click on it, look at it. And if you decide that you like it, you would add it to your library. Hernan?
Yes, thank you. These campaigns are both for US and Canada. Is the same thing, both apply or not?
I will say that Canada, I believe, has a few less campaign options than the United States. For example, I'm pretty sure Canada doesn't allow the nosy neighbor campaigns.
Yes.
So you might have a few less options, but I believe that they're just not in your system at all.
Thank you. So whatever we have, we can use, no problem. It's not
Yes.
like I'm gonna use something that is not allowed here in Canada.
No, KVCore just takes stuff away from you.
Thank you. That's one. And the second one is, do we need to have the smartphone extra, membership in order for these campaigns to work or not? Because I see some other videos from another trainer who mentions the smartphone $27 a month situation for stuff to work. Maybe I misunderstood.
So the smart line, I will tell you, KVCore gives you a free smart line through EXP.
Okay.
This smart number, another agent might actually have the same actual number as you, but when a phone call, like say I were to call you and I've been on your website before, but another agent has the same phone number. If I call it and I've been on your website, the call is definitely going to you. But if I've never been on a website, it kind of spreads the lead. So sometimes you might get calls from people through the smart number that you've never met before. And that's just a lead that wasn't claimed, and EXP kind of round robins it between the extra, like between all the smart numbers. I do pay an additional amount of money to have that smart number for $27 because you can buy your own rather than the one that EXP provides. I did buy it for $27. I personally have not ever lost a lead from when I used to use the KVCore round robin smart number, like the generic one versus my own. But again, through watching YouTube videos and the experience from talking to other agents, I've heard of people losing out on leads because they got sent to another person because they didn't have their own smart number. Have I or any of my agents ever encountered that? No. So I do pay for my own smart number, but it was because I more so wanted to have the experience of what's the difference. I wouldn't say that it's something that you need right this second, but I know what you're talking about, because in YouTube videos, people do talk about the fact that leads slip through the cracks if you don't have your own smart number.
Thank you, but so if we don't go that route, whatever number is texting our, contacts back and forth, or, sending them voice messages or whatever, they will still come back to us in most times, correct?
Yep. If you've
Okay.
already made contact with that person, that lead is assigned to you and it will always get to you. It shouldn't ever land in somebody else's hands.
Thank you.
So, but I do encourage you guys to add a couple campaigns to your library. Once you've added them to your library, you do need to go back to your own library where it says My Campaigns, and you do need to turn on the campaigns that you want to use. So you'll see I have a really long list of campaigns because I've been teaching this class and showing people how to add them to my library, but only the ones that you have in blue will be available for you to add them to your clients. So let's go back to the Smart CRM. And I showed you how you can add like hashtags and other things to your clients or your leads. But I want to show you how you can add different smart campaigns and how to also send people your app that I talked about kind of in the beginning. So if I click on this name, yours might be different. I've seen other KVCores where like it's kind of in a drop-down menu to the right-hand side versus these 3 bars across the top, but you will have a button that says Actions. So once you locate the button that says Actions, if you click on that, you will see that you can actually log information on the left-hand side, or you can send information on the right-hand side. So if you want to start sending somebody property alerts, like whether it's a buyer and you want them to know like what's hitting the market, or it's a seller and you want them to know what just closed in their community, you can add property alerts here. You can also add people to campaigns. So this person, I added them to my phone automatically, and this campaign was assigned to them. If I wanted to change it or remove it, I can definitely remove it. I'm going to leave this campaign on because they are a homeowner, and like it's somebody that I met through like mommy and me type stuff. And so I need to get more information from her as to whether or not she'd be a buyer or seller in the near future. You can also send out market reports, listing valuations, a seller report, and then also you can send that invite to your home ownership app that I was showing you at the beginning of this class. So there's a lot of things that you can do in Actions, contact info, and timeline. The other thing that I do recommend, and I know that I've said so much, but I swear this is going to be the last thing of the day other than questions, is that if you go to your profile details, you can come into somebody and you can add in what their birthday is and send automatic emails every year on their birthday. You can also set up what their anniversary date was from the last time that you closed a transaction with that person and turn on an anniversary text or email. And that way, every year on the anniversary of when they closed on a property with you and every year on their birthday, you know that you're at least contacting this person twice. So those would be things that I'd recommend to add in addition to smart campaigns. That wraps up this class other than questions. So would anybody have any questions? We have 3 minutes left. Any questions? Hernan, I know you have one.
Now, you know what, I think that I got a little bit overloaded at the end, but thank you. I was trying to follow at the same time. So the last maybe 3 minutes, I lost you because I was trying to add some smart campaigns, but I will watch the video once you upload it. I'm already I already found you on YouTube. I'm gonna follow you. Thank you, Leslie.
Perfect.
I'll be here tomorrow and the day after as well.
And
So
so I
thank
did just
you.
drop in my YouTube link in the chat if you guys want to watch that. I have this beginner's class recorded several times. I do have the advanced class as well as some smaller videos. So if you guys want to watch this back, this video will be added tomorrow to the class or to the YouTube channel. All right, guys. Well, I hope everybody has an awesome day. Thank you for partaking in the class. I hope you learned a lot. I know it's a lot of information, so it does take time to kind of go back to it as well. Don't feel overwhelmed. You can set up a one-on-one with me as well if you guys feel the need to. So I'd recommend you take the beginner and the advanced class. And then if there's anything specific that you need help with, you can do as many one-on-ones through Jean Frederick's website as you need. Hope you guys have a great day.
Thank you so much, Leslie. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.